I was standing in line at the grocery store, holding a rotisserie chicken and a bottle of cheap wine, when I realized I didn't know where my wife was. That's not the kind of thing a man should admit, but it's the truth. It was a Thursday night, 6:43 p.m. The checkout line was long. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. I had my phone in my hand, thumb hovering over her name, Natalie. We'd been married 14 years, had a house in a suburb north of Dallas, a daughter in 6th grade, a dog named Murphy, 2 leased cars, and a pattern. Every Thursday she was at yoga from 5:30 6:30, and then she'd call me on the drive home, except tonight she didn't. I dialed voicemail. I didn't panic, not right away. Instead I paid for the food, drove home, and fed the dog, opened the wine, set the table. I even lit one of the candles she liked, the ones that smelled like cedar and rain. And then I waited. 7:10, 7:30, 8 hours. At 8:12 she walked in, holding a gym bag and smelling like perfume, not sweat. "Hey," she said, breezing past me like everything was fine. "Sorry, got drinks after class." That was the first time. The second time, I checked the yoga studio's Instagram. They'd posted a group photo. Natalie wasn't in it. The third time, I drove by the studio. Her car wasn't there. That's when I stopped asking questions and started writing things down. "Here's what you need to know about me. My name is Darren Cole. I'm 45. I sell insurance. Not flashy, not rich, but I'm stable. I pay my bills. I remember birthdays. I pick up the kid from band practice. I also notice patterns." Natalie and I met at a New Year's Eve party in Austin. She was in real estate, gorgeous, sharp, the kind of woman who made you stand up straighter when she walked into a room. She said I was grounding, said I was safe. At the time, I thought that was a compliment. We got married after 10 months, bought a modest ranch-style house, had our daughter Claire 2 years later. The first few years were good. Natalie worked hard, built a client base, made decent money. I handled the logistics, mortgage, savings, taxes. She called me her anchor. But over the past 2 years, something shifted. She started pulling away. It wasn't dramatic, just a slow drift. She took solo weekend trips to recharge, bought new clothes but said they were business expenses, set new phone passwords, always kept her screen tilted away. I didn't confront her, not because I was scared, but because I already knew how this kind of thing plays out. I'd seen it in my line of work. Policyholders who filed claims after their spouse left them bankrupt. People blindsided by betrayal. So I did what I always do. I opened a new savings account in my name only, changed my payroll deposit, small amounts, nothing flashy, just a buffer. I backed up our financial records, every statement, every receipt. I checked the deed, only my name, good. I checked the mortgage, the cars, the 401k. I took inventory, quietly, and I waited. The tipping point came on a Monday. Natalie left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. Normally she closed everything, logged out, but not that day. And there it was, an email thread between her and someone named Mason. I read every word. They'd been seeing each other for 9 months. He was married. They'd met at a real estate conference in Denver. Same hotel, same floor. Natalie told him I was checked out, said I was more like a roommate than a husband. She said she was laying groundwork to leave. I closed the laptop, poured another glass of wine, and made a decision. This wasn't going to be a screaming match. This wasn't going to be a drunken meltdown on the front lawn. This was going to be precise. First thing I did was call a friend of mine, Kai, a divorce attorney I met through work. Discreet, sharp. I laid it out, told him I wasn't ready to file. Not yet, but I wanted to understand the options, the assets, the risks. Kyle was calm. "You have the advantage," he said. "She doesn't know you know. That's power." He sent me a checklist. I followed it to the letter. I updated beneficiaries on my life insurance, moved digital assets to new passwords, removed Natalie's name from all utilities, forwarded key documents to a secure drive. I even installed a GPS tracker on her car. By the end of the week I had timestamps, hotel addresses, gas station stops off the highway, photos, everything I needed. I didn't want to ruin her. I just wanted her to understand who she was playing with. The real moment came 2 weeks later. She sat me down at the kitchen table, said she wanted to talk. Her tone was rehearsed, professional. "I think we've grown apart," she said. "I need something different now." I nodded. "Okay," I said. "Just that. No begging, no questions, just calm." That threw her off. She blinked. "You're not upset?" I shook my head. I figured it was coming. She looked relieved, mistook my calm for weakness, which is exactly what I wanted. That night, I pulled up the GPS logs. She'd gone straight to Mason's condo, stayed until morning. I sent Kyle a text. Time to initiate. He filed the paperwork under grounds of adultery. In Texas, that matters. And because I had proof, photos, messages, timestamps, I had leverage. She was stunned when she got served at the office. Texted me immediately. "What the hell is this?" I didn't respond. 2 hours later, she called. I answered. "I thought we agreed to be civil," she said. "I was civil," I said. "You wanted different. Now you've got it." What she didn't know, what she still doesn't know, is what I did next, and that's where the revenge really starts. The first thing I did was cancel her credit cards. Not all of them, just the ones tied to our joint account. The grocery card, the gym membership, the one she used for gas. Nothing dramatic. Just a quiet signal that the rules had changed. She texted me the next day. "Card declined at the pump. Weird?" I didn't reply. Later that night she brought it up again. "The Chase card didn't work." I nodded. "Must be a billing issue." She stared at me. Suspicious, but not enough to push. Not yet. Over the next few days I made moves in silence. Moved the rest of my direct deposit to my private account. Closed the shared Amazon profile. Changed the Netflix password. All small, silent cuts. The kind that bleed slow. Meanwhile, she kept playing house. Picked up Claire from school. Made stir-fry on Wednesday. Asked if I was doing okay. I smiled and nodded. Fine. She took that to mean forgiveness. It wasn't. What I wanted was leverage, and the best leverage was hidden in plain sight. She'd been listing houses under her name for years, made decent commissions, but 6 months ago she'd started something new, an LLC, Nova Living. I found the paperwork in the file drawer she thought I never used. It was a shell, no employees, no office, just a P.O. box and a Chase business account. I knew what it was, a funnel, a way to move money, keep commissions off our books, create the illusion of independence. She thought she was smart. She wasn't smarter than me. I called in a favor from a client, Ron Patel. He ran audits for high-net divorce cases. I gave him the LLC name, her maiden name, and Mason's last name. 3 hours later, he sent me a report. Nova Living had moved to under 106 months. None of that money had touched our household budget, and that was just what he could find. I felt nothing when I saw it. No shock, no grief, just clarity. When Claire went to her friend's sleepover that weekend, Natalie said she was heading to a yoga retreat. She packed light, left early Saturday morning. I waited until noon, then drove to Mason's condo, not to confront, just to look. She was there. So was he. I didn't knock, didn't take pictures, just watched from my car, engine off, window cracked. They were drinking wine on the patio. She was wearing the sweater I bought her last Christmas. I drove away when they started kissing, not because I couldn't watch, because I didn't need to anymore. That night I updated the divorce filing. Infidelity, financial concealment, business fraud. Kyle attached the bank records, the GPS logs and screenshots from her laptop. The evidence was airtight. In Texas, that meant more than just leverage. It meant I could keep the house, retain custody, and minimize any payout. But that wasn't the revenge. Not yet. The revenge started when I emailed Mason. No threats, no anger, just a link to the LLC registration, and a note. "Does your wife know about Nova Living?" He replied 22 minutes later. "Who is this?" I didn't answer. The next day, the LLC website was taken offline. 2 days later, Natalie came home early, pale, eyes red. "We need to talk." I was at the kitchen table, reviewing Claire's science project. "Go ahead," I said. Her voice trembled. "I think Mason's wife found out." "About what?" She looked at me, hesitated, then sat down. Her mouth opened, closed. opened again. I think she might contact you. She already did. That was a lie, but it landed exactly how I wanted it to. Natalie stared at me like I'd slapped her. What did she say? Nothing yet, I said, but I'm guessing she'll have questions. She stood up suddenly, pacing. God, this is such a mess. Then clean it up. She stopped, looked at me. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm not cleaning it up for you. The next 72 hours were chaos. Mason's wife, Julia, did contact me. Through LinkedIn of all places. She didn't accuse me of anything, just said, I think our spouses are involved in something more than just an affair. Are you willing to talk? I said yes. We met at a coffee shop on a rainy afternoon. She brought a binder. I brought a thumb drive. Her binder had receipts, emails, flight bookings. My drive had bank records, LLC documents, screenshots. She wasn't looking for drama. She was looking for clarity. We compared notes for an hour and a half. By the end, we'd mapped out a timeline of 2 people who'd been running a double life on 2 credit cards, 2 addresses, and one lie after another. When we left, she said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Finish what I started." I didn't go home right away. I drove to the lake instead, parked near the dock where we used to take Claire fishing. It was quiet, cold, early fall wind coming off the water. I sat with the engine off, hands on the wheel, letting everything settle. This wasn't rage, or grief, or even relief. This was what it felt like when you saw a thing clearly for the first time. When I got home, Natalie was in the kitchen. She had wine poured, music playing, the same playlist she used when we first moved in, Van Morrison, Etta James, like this was supposed to be a reconciliation night. I didn't speak, just set down my keys and sat across from her. She smiled. I've been thinking about us, about what we've built. I watched her. She wasn't crying, not begging, just recalibrating. That was her gift. She could turn betrayal into negotiation in under 60 seconds. I want to make this right, she said. I think we rushed into this divorce talk. Things have just been stressful lately. Stressful, I said. No inflection. She nodded. Claire's been asking questions. I think we should slow down, talk it through. I leaned forward. So no more Mason. She flinched, just slightly. That wasn't, it didn't mean anything. 200 grand means something. Her eyes locked on mine. She knew then. I knew everything. That night, she stayed in the guest room, didn't speak the next morning, didn't look me in the eye. 2 days later, her attorney called mine, panic in her tone, wanting to renegotiate the terms. Too late. The court date was set. Kyle had already filed a motion to freeze the Nova Living assets. The judge approved it the same afternoon. That's when Natalie stopped pretending. No more warm smiles, no more half-lies. She went cold, sharp, focused. She moved into a condo downtown, started posting filtered photos of wine glasses and new beginnings. Claire asked where Mom was. I said, she's figuring some things out. I didn't lie, not to her. The final blow came a week before court. Kyle found something else. Nova Living had received 3 payments from a real estate group, Landmark Property Solutions, all tied to Mason. Turns out Mason wasn't just a side fling. He was using Natalie's license to flip distressed properties. Illegal, maybe not. Unethical, absolute. I printed the docs and put them in a manila folder labeled for discovery. Sent a copy to Julia too. Just a courtesy. Court was fast. Natalie's lawyer came in loud, aggressive, tried to paint me as controlling, manipulative, paranoid. Kyle let him talk, then handed the judge a neatly organized binder. Financial concealment, adultery, forgery, fraud, receipts don't lie. The judge ruled in under 20 minutes. I kept the house, retained full custody. She got visitation and whatever was left in her personal checking account. Her face didn't even crack. She just nodded like she was already somewhere else, already rewriting the story in her head. Afterward, I walked to my car alone. No celebration, no high fives, just air in my lungs and weight off my back. I got in, closed the door, sat there a long time, not because I didn't know what to do next, but because for the first time in over a year, the next move was mine alone. The next morning, Claire and I ate breakfast at the little diner near her school. She got waffles, I got black coffee. She asked if Mom was okay. I said she would be, And I meant it. Later that week, Julia texted me. Mason left, took his things, trying to save face. I didn't respond. A month later I sold the house, used the equity to buy something smaller, quiet, still near Claire's school. Enough room for us and the dog. I built a workshop in the garage, started doing furniture restoration, something with my hands, something that stays where you leave it. Natalie emails sometimes, photos of Claire, updates, no apologies, no explanations, just neutral ground. I keep it cordial, for Claire, but I don't look back, not at the pictures, not at the texts, not at the years. I look forward, always forward. One evening, I opened an old folder on my desktop, the one with all the evidence. I almost deleted it, but I didn't. I moved it to an encrypted drive and locked it away, not out of spite, just in case one day Claire needs to know how it all really happened, how her father didn't just survive it, he saw it coming, prepared, and never let it define him. Claire was the only thing that ever really mattered. That's what it came down to. Not the house, not the money, not even the betrayal. Just her. After the dust settled, we fell into a rhythm. School drop-offs, dinner routines, Saturday bike rides. She adjusted faster than I did. Kids do that. They adapt. Adults pretend. I started running again. 5 miles every morning. Same loop around the neighborhood. Same songs in my earbuds. It wasn't about health. It was about silence. About creating space between the life I had and the one I was building. One morning, I passed a real estate sign with Natalie's name on it. Just a lawn ad in front of some half-finished new build. Her photo was older, touched up. The kind of image that says nothing's wrong. I jogged past without slowing. Kyle called me a few weeks later. He said Julia had officially filed charges against Mason. Wire fraud, contract fraud, license misuse. She had enough evidence to bury him. Kyle asked if I wanted to join the complaint. I said no, let her handle that mess. I had other things to do. Claire started asking deeper questions, not just about the divorce, about everything. Why did Mom lie? Did you still love her when she left? Was it my fault? I answered everyone honestly, except the last one. I didn't say no. I said none of this was ever about you. Then I held her hand across the table until she stopped crying, and when she fell asleep that night, I stayed by her door, not because she needed protection, because I did. The emails from Natalie became less frequent. Updates about Claire, school events, occasional holiday logistics, all polite, all clean. I never blocked her, but I never initiated. That's the difference between moving on and standing still. One keeps walking, the other keeps checking the rear view. On the 1-year mark I got a letter, not from Natalie, from Julia. It was short, typed, just 3 paragraphs. She wrote that her case had helped expose 3 other agents doing similar deals, that Mason's license had been revoked, that she was rebuilding. The last line hit hardest. You didn't just protect your daughter, you protected mine too. I pinned that letter to the corkboard above my desk, not as a trophy, as a reminder that the quiet path, the patient one, can still lead to justice, even if it takes longer. Sometimes I wonder if Natalie misses it, not me, but the version of life where everything looked perfect from the outside. She posts less now, no more wine glass sunsets, no more new chapter captions, just listings, market stats. Sometimes Claire shows me the photo. She's doing okay, Claire says, and I nod. Good. I don't hate her, not anymore. I hate the version of me that stayed quiet for so long. That thought stability meant staying put while the ground shifted beneath him. But that version is gone now, replaced by something solid. I built Claire a new bookshelf for her room. Simple pine, smooth finish, no nails showing. She helped me stain it, picked the color, deep walnut. When we were done she looked up and said, "It's perfect." I just smiled and nodded, because it was. That's the thing they don't tell you about starting over. You don't rebuild everything at once. You do it in small, stubborn steps. A shelf, a morning run, a clean conversation. You cut away what doesn't belong. You reinforce what matters. You learn to live with the cracks, and eventually they stop looking like damage, start looking like design. The revenge? It wasn't the frozen accounts. It wasn't the court win. It wasn't even watching Mason's empire collapse. The revenge was walking out of that house with my daughter. my name and my soul intact, and leaving nothing behind worth stealing.